Good evening, guys. Today we are going to talk about the topic interview skills. There is a big difference between normal conversations and interview skills. So, when it comes to selection, the recruiters or the selectors need a process which is called interview. Without this interview, everyone can be eligible for the jobs, right? So, to get selected, to be able to get selected in the jobs we wanted, we need to perform well in the interview. For example, the utmost competitive examinations, which is called UPSC, Union Public Service Commissions. Under this process, the examination has three stages. Number one, prelims. Number two, mains. And number three, interview. Yes, you may score well in the mains and prelims, but these two marks would be worthless if you're not able to do well in the last stage, which is called interview. What basically does the examiner need from you is how you can adapt the stress and how fast are you to bring about solutions to the problems that you're seeking for. This is basically done in order to test one's attitude and one's aptitude. So there are people who presume interview is not about speaking skills, communication skills. It requires presence of mind and common sense on how you can introduce or relate things which are quite different from one another. Relation is important, said the others. And yes, I found out that people who are really good at English, they do not overcome the arduous interviews. But the ones who are not good at communication skills, but still they manage to crack the interviews. So the process of this interview is based on the perception of one's management and to one's skills and aptitude is quite important. It's not about how well are you good at communications. It does not seek the vibrancy of your knowledge. You won't be asked more about current affairs, geography, or history, which you're really thorough of. Instead, you will be asked to solve or to bring solutions which will be acceptable to the boards. So this is what we call a stage, which is also a part of selection to achieve our dreams. That is to become an IAS officer. This happens to be in the last stage. So, like as I mentioned earlier, by cracking the first two stages with good marks, but with lack of performance in the last stage will not help us get included into the merit list. So the problem is, it is really necessary for ones to improve his attitude in order to face the, the boards who will be sitting around you. And each board has different ways to raise questions which you would provide answers to each one of them. It's going to be very difficult, but with practice, I think nothing is difficult. This is basically an example which we can take in solving in knowing the importance of aptitude skills, which is also known as interview skills. And to know more about it, we can go to different websites where experts have been paved different ways to do well in the interviews, be it in the banking or in the UPSC. Also, different types of examinations, which included interviews. So, what do the boards want from the candidates? All these instructions and process needs to be studied carefully. Then the person must be prepared for that particular interview. So basically, to do well in the interview, there are certain points that we can mention tonight. Number one, aptitude skills. Like as I mentioned, nobody will ask you about the subjects that you are aware of. Nobody will ask you about your family background. Yes, in the introduction part, they may include your basic information regarding families, career, qualifications, and all these are known by one and all. But there comes problem when the boards inquire about the situation which are required your mental capacity and how to grab such opportunity and make it as your favorite questions. It depends directly on your aptitude. So to improve this, we should remember using our presence of mind. Maybe perhaps you may take some online courses. Yes, that too is good, but most probably it is good that you keep answering those random questions and relate it with current affairs or the knowledge that you have attained by reading newspaper or current affairs. By referring to different things you have learned, I think you would be able to connect from one to another. Then your aptitude skills can be improved from time to time. These skills is not feasible to improve in 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. It requires a lot of practice. So first and foremost thing we need to remember to do well in the interview skills is improve your aptitude. How? Present, have patience to work with your time zone. Yes, there may be some people who will be good at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but you may not be excelled in 1 year, 2 years, but it does not require that much year. It does not require 1 month, 2 months. Your time zone is unpredictable. So you should be very careful with the way you perform in front of the mirror or in front of the mobile phone. And then you can make arrangement of your schedule and procedure to do well in the interview. So my first point is to improve your aptitude skills. So for this, we need to keep answering the random questions and relate it with current affairs or the knowledge we have learned by studying books or newspapers like I mentioned earlier, so I won't be repeating again. Number two, have the willingness to showing up yourself publicly. Yes, even the native speaker makes mistake while giving speech or presentation. Yes, we can find out the anchor making mistakes while addressing questions to the resource persons. But they recover it very easily, and nobody understands their mistakes and how come that is possible. And that capacity is required as we move on preparing for interview because it requires a lot of effort to make up such a problem into a better one. It requires vocabulary and some kind of common sense to bridge the gap. There needs a bridge in order to pass through the river, right? So without that bridge, you should be getting wet, or else if you won't go by flight, you will get wet. Am I right? So first thing we need is bridge to avoid wet or soak from the water. Same as like this. To bridge between our mistake and good performance, we need a bridge, and that bridge can be set up by you, not by anyone. And people will actually understand the points that you have mistake, but you may be right and express many good points. But hardly, rarely, only some people would understand the good points you have mentioned. They will more focus on your mistakes. Number one point. Number two, yes, you may make mistakes, but do not scare of doing that. Let it be done. But never forget to recover your mistakes. If if you're really confusing with that mistakes, you will be stagnant at a certain stage where your speech or presentations may be ruined. So it depends on your choice. Like as I mentioned, while talking about the interview conducted by UPSC boards, people will ask you different questions. So how would you assess? It really requires aptitude skills, and next, you should be able to recover your mistakes. Understand creating good impact in you, and understand making bridge between your weak point and your strength point. To get to the point where you want, you need a bridge, and that bridge can be set up by you. This can be done with practice. So these are two main points that we need to remember to do well in the interview skills. Nothing is too hard. And by referring to these points, I think we will be able to do well in the interview skills, be it related to banking or UPSC or any kind of private companies or business administration. It is going to help you and want who are interested in doing well, in performing well for the interviews. So that much will be for today. I think some of you may not be able to pick up what I've just said. Anyhow, I think if we are getting good time, we will be talking about different topics on different subjects in the future. Maybe next time I may do well. As of now, we are out of time, so we will be discussing more topics in the future. As of today, we will end up right here. Thank you.